The views expressed on this Turnbuckle Tabloid live stream or Turnbuckle Tabloid podcast episode do not reflect the views, thoughts, or opinions of the Rageworks brand, including the Rageworks podcast network, Rageworks content partners, advertisers, and affiliates. Viewer and listener discretion is advised.
This is Big Game Leroy from House of Glory Pro Wrestling, and you are here with Turnbuckle Tabloid.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff.
I've been able to speak to you guys from the intro, the opening salvo. It's been a minute since I've been able to talk to you guys, man. Shit. It's been a lot going on in wrestling, man. We have jam-packed content that was coming your way, and I didn't want to spoil all that by just indulging everything about me. Because believe me, I can make it about me whenever I want. It's just that simple, but... No, you know, I really felt as though that this was a time for us to sit back and just discuss wrestling and get back to the nitty-gritty, as we may know and love. And I was happy to share all this content. And I want to thank everybody for their support and their love for downloading and streaming the episodes and such. You guys are awesome. It's been a hell of a ride. I began to think about what's really important in life and putting together not only this podcast, but what's going forth personally, professionally and such. And you sit down and you think about what passions you have, how serious you're going to take that certain part of your life and bring it to the next level. In all aspects of your life, whatever situation, whatever category. And, you know, when it comes to providing for your family, providing for those around you who love you and you give back and share to, those are always next level things, and that's done by a day-by-day basis. And for those that you come into contact with and you see them doing their thing, pushing through it, you know, making their way downtown, hanging about. Anybody that you feel as though that is committed to what they're doing, regardless of how they're struggling through it, but they're still pushing forward. It's always a testament to you and them to show how strong that push is, because there's some people who quit on day one, and there's people who keep doing it 10 years after. And, you know, there's always that conversation of you got to put in the 10,000 hours. But sometimes you do those 10,000 hours and you're doing it alone. And you often feel like quitting. But this day and age, you know, if you're doing it for the love, like I've been saying, once it becomes a job, you don't want to do it anymore. In all aspects in life, seriously, in all aspects. Once it becomes a job, you just don't want to do it anymore. But here and there, I say that because, you know, after knocking down 6 years of doing the podcast, 400 plus episodes, two episodes a week, you know, it becomes more of a thought process of doubt of whether or not you want to keep doing this. But for me, it's only doubtful because it's whether or not the content is still be there. I'm grateful enough to have a company that backs me. Shout out to Rageworks that doesn't give me deadlines, that doesn't hit me with content too much where I need to hit on all notes. And content being that just as long as you're not using copyrighted music, you know, excessively and stuff like that. But other than that, I say what I want. I talk about what I want. I bring whatever material out there that I want. And, you know, I'm able to police myself for the most part, but in other aspects of it, it's like, you know, I'm grateful that I got a crew that just sits there and just lets me rock. so this is why it's always fun for me, but the day-to-days that come to your professional life, as in the ones that pay the bills, sometimes it can be a grind and such. But with this one, I've become with, the podcast, it's like, if you notice, my format has changed. I'm not even sticking to the usual, where the first episode would be, sticking to the wrestling rundowns and the around the square circles. And then the following episodes is usually, cutting a promo and an interview, or maybe, off the cuff, thought and such. But this day and age, I'm like, whatever I can bring to you guys on that moment is what I'm giving to you guys. I'm going avant-garde, but I'm also going to the fact that I'm going to what the tempo is of the week of wrestling and the content, the subject matter. So I'm hoping that you guys are enjoying the format that it is now. It's a little bit erratic. I'm not trying to browbeat you guys with a lot of info all at one time. I'm also trying to minimize the episodes. Sometimes if you see an episode that goes longer than an hour and a half, it's because it's probably I have a conversation with someone, or something major happened in which I have to go in depth to talk about. So that's just basically how it is. But I'm trying to be a little bit more ear friendly. I'm trying to give you ear candy. I want me to be more ear delicious to you guys. But other than that, welcome everybody to another episode of Turnbuckle Tabloid. I am your host, Mr. Ear to the Mat, the king of talk style, and as always, the cheap thrill, Jay the Red Santee. Be sure you check us out on all the social media outlets. Check us out on the like and group page on Facebook. Check us out on Instagram at Turnbuckle Tab, as well as on Twitter at Turnbuckle Tab. And be sure you check us out on TikTok, Twitch, and as well as on YouTube at Turnbuckle Tabloid. And as I always say, content coming. I drop a little content here and there. I've also felt that my face is made more for radio, so I really don't put too much out there video wise, but I know I have to do something of that magnitude, but we'll see how that goes from here on out. Also, it's also a time thing. Shout out to my boy Rick Medina, who just did a podcast with my brother, big little brother D, and I shared the page on the Facebook. I shared the link on the Facebook page. Check those guys out talking WrestleMania and their weekend, how much they enjoyed their time at Mania and their thoughts on the matches. I have to say that Rick did an exceptional job on his video editing and such. I thought it was great. And if I could put together something like that, I would probably do it more. But I know it's kind of time consuming. So I don't even try. I'm good. I'm all right with what I got. I'm steady here. But be sure you check us out on all the podcasting outlets. Check us out on on iHeart, Spotify, Google Podcasts. Download, stream, subscribe, be a part of the vibe here at Turnbuckle Tabloid. But if not, you could always go to RageWorksNetwork.com. RageWorksNetwork.com has everything under the sun, under the RageWorks umbrella. You could always check out the family there. And always be sure to check out RageWorks.net for reviews, previews, contests, whatever content we have available for you for movies, TV shows, comic books, toys, hobbies, whatever's there for you guys. So be sure you check us out at RageWorks.net. RageWorks.net, everybody. We do it for the culture, baby. Pop culture, that is. So just to keep a quick recap of what's going on with me. Still going to the gym, still working out, still trying. I'm down about from 272 in January to about 248. I'm still hovering around there. I just want to lose that little kangaroo pouch in the front. Just a little bit. I know I'm never going to have the six pack. I'm never going to have that ravishing Rick Rude look. I'm never going to have all that. But at least just give me the barrel Iron Sheik Bruno Sammartino look. I'll be okay with that. I could work with that. Get around 230, 225. I'll be okay with that. But trust the process. Just slowly but surely. But other than that, everything else is just going swell. It's just swell. New York is getting some good weather the next couple of days right now. sitting in a room at 72 degrees, which is comfortable. Almost feels Florida-ish. I'm not mad at that. And, yeah, everything else is everything. So with that being said, let's kick this up a notch. Wrestling rundown this week. We have much to talk about. Oski sits in. He discusses the, recent AEW signings as well as the big announcement made by AEW about where they'll be doing All In at, because it's not all out. It's All In because we're going to need all you guys to fill up this fucking humongous stadium. So you hear our thoughts about that, plus much more, some untimely passings and such that occurred. And, around the square circle, just a brief rundown of what's happening on the shows and the podcasts we listen to and such. I know you guys were very unhappy about a Raw that happened, a week or so ago, but it looks like WWE bounced back, with Raw this week, as well as to talk about what's going on in AEW and much, much more. So guys, don't go anywhere. Stick around. We will return and I'll, check you guys in a sec. So I was just talking to you guys about RageWorksNetwork.com. RageWorksNetwork.com has all the podcasts that's right up your alley, that tickles your fancy. Yes, guys, I'm doing a live read about this, so this means it's very important to me to talk about RageWorksNetwork.com. We cover every aspect of categories in which fulfills your life. You want wrestling, you got me. You want pop culture, you got you got Black is the New Black. You want stuff about business, you got Atomic Business Coaching. You want stuff about hobbies, collectibles, you got Toys and Techs. Talk about MMA, you got Fight and Sight. We have much going on here, man. Listen, you don't want to go anywhere else to fulfill your podcasting needs. You want to go to RageWorksNetwork.com. It has all things that's connected to your lifestyle. Hey, ladies, we even got something for you. We have Slang for Me with Alexis A. McCoy Gonzalez. That's right. It's the fan, people. Got much there to tickle your fancy with, and much, much more. Eat for Life podcast. This is something that will be right up your alley as well if you're into, once again, the pop culture life. Why go anywhere else? Very initial. Toys and Techs. Trek Untold for you Trekkies out there. I'm telling you, RageWorksNetwork.com got you covered with all the bases you need for your podcasting pleasures. Make sure you check us out at RageWorksNetwork.com and show the family love. Download, subscribe, and as always, I tell you guys, be a part of the vibe here at RageWorksNetwork.com.
This is Larry Legend, and you're listening to the Turnbuckle Tabloid Podcast.
It's Wrestling Rundown with Jay Santy.
Live from New York, it's
Turnbuckle Tabloid.
I want to take a nap. I feel really sleepy. I don't know why. I had a nice sleep.
Not because of the change of weather?
Maybe. It could be that.
We had 3 days of 80-degree weather here in New York.
Yeah, you know what? That's the thing, too. I'm not a big fan of heat. Mm-hmm. Heat bothers me.
Yeah.
So it makes...
Especially when it goes from 60 to 80 in a day.
Yeah, and it makes me mad. It angers me. I know a lot of people are like, oh my God, I love the warm weather. I look at them like if they belong in a mental institution when they say that.
Especially someone like me who has bad allergies. I'm like, fuck all you people.
Yeah, fuck off.
Enjoy the flowers. I can't.
Yeah. I've learned that in certain areas of New York City, the reason why we have so many people with allergies is because they populated the city with trees that are males. So the pollen that comes from the trees affect many of us differently. So basically it's saying
we're getting fucked.
We're getting fucked with tree jizz that's giving us allergies. Yeah. Yeah. Good night, everybody.
That's Jay Santee's fact of the week.
Yeah, Jay Santee's fact of the week. Bing bing. Yeah, so I'm I had like a really.
Do you have allergies?
I do,
but not severe.
But no, it's not severe. It's just like stuffy nose, rubbing on the eyes, and that kind of shit. Nothing really crazy. Not like you, who fucking.
You saw firsthand.
Oof! Did you take your Benadryl today?
Yes, I had.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I did.
Yeah,
Allegra, ladies and gentlemen. This is my friend.
Of course, sitting here with our guy, Homewood Mike, stopping by for a wrestling rundown.
After this week, I had to.
Did you have a week?
I had a week where I watched all the wrestling, and I have some thoughts on it.
Oh, okay. So before that'll be in around the square circle.
I wanted to be here the week before, but Olski filled in nicely.
He slid in nicely on that Florida call-in for long distance. But
especially after WrestleMania, I needed a little cool down.
there was a lot going on that whole time.
Yeah.
But we'll get into that in around the square circle. But for Wrestling Rundown this week, I'm your host, the Norm McDonald of this segment, and this is Wrestling Rundown's weekend update. Nick Khan was just recently on a podcast, or he was being interviewed. And no, he was being interviewed, and there were two things that stuck out to me during the interview.
Triple H is in charge, Vince is not.
Right, that's one. And the other one was, what are they going to do for the 10 to 11 spot on Raw?
I saw something before when we were sitting on the bus together. Actually.
Yeah,
that actually popped up on my feed.
Yeah, so as a possibility,
another Raw Underground, possibly,
or just make it. Listen, why can't they do like they did years ago? Make it,
just what?
What
did they do? What did they do years ago?
The last hour was like Warzone. They called it Raw.
Back in the old days.
Yeah, they called it Warzone.
Right.
So, I think that's not Raw Underground. No, please, no. Who came up with that shit?
Shane.
Ugh.
But don't worry, God punished him at WrestleMania.
Right. Yeah. Oof. Now he's part of the
We're an ACL club.
Yeah, the Mount Rushmore.
Off a fucking leap.
Listen, it happens. It happens. But I think that the whole 10 o'clock hour needs something. It needs to.
I remember saying on the show multiple times that the 8 to 9 slot should be like a recap show,
right,
leading into the Raw part of the show, where like they talk about like what happened last week, what you expect to see on tonight's show,
right,
something like that.
Or I liked what WCW used to do. They used to come out. They used to have their opening storyline, and then
that would last forever,
right? And they'll do 20-minute segment, 15-minute segment, or whatever. Then go into a match, and then they would display the cruiserweights or something like that.
And the Nitro Girls could pop up.
All right, we're not doing that, but okay. But
I'm just saying that's what WCW did to fill in time for when they did 3 hours.
No, what you do is just like you display the cruiserweights or up and coming talent or something like that. Give that hour, and then come the 9 o'clock hour, get the ball running. Let's get it going. The other thing that's missing is you tend to, storytelling wise, you don't give the audience a sense of anticipation. Years ago, during that same era, it was you were waiting for Stone Cold, and Jim Ross would keep reminding you, Stone Cold will be in the building at the 9 o'clock hour or at the 10 o'clock hour.
That shit ended like when Cena was around.
Right.
Before Stone Cold hasn't been at the building yet. It's 10 o'clock. He only has an hour left.
Right. And
like type of shit.
And you would wait to see if he would pop up or when it would pop up. So there's not that sense of anticipation. So
I think that nowadays won't work anymore because everybody knows the wrestlers are there hours way before.
Yeah, but still, like,
I know what you mean, though.
But you gotta,
like people gonna be like, "Oh, John Cena's late." Like, what the fuck?
Or are we gonna hear word from such and such? They haven't come out. They haven't come out their locker room yet, or some shit like that. Make something. Give
anticipation.
Something. And then the discussion, which is the Vince McMahon is not in creative. It's Triple H's show. And, if they have some conversations to have, then I think everybody really lost their shit after
the night after WrestleMania.
Yeah. I think a lot of people were losing their minds. I didn't. I really didn't, because
you stayed calm and cool.
I did, because I knew he was still in LA. He was excited. The Endeavor sale went through.
Let me see what I could do.
Right. He was like, hey, guys.
He fucked up everything.
Hey, guys, watch what I can do. Hit buttons, hit buttons, hit buttons, hit buttons.
Rock heel turn.
Yeah. Which I'm not mad at that. I'm okay with that.
I think we'll get into that later.
But I think that everybody lost their shit with the whole creative stuff. And at this point in time, after hearing that discussion that Aria Emanuel and Vince had on CNBC, I think there's still that look at Vince where it's like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. But it's my company. It's like, no.
We get it. It's your company, but you put someone in charge, and he's been doing a pretty good job at it.
Right. So I'm still holding out on hope.
And you saw the report about the email going out to the wrestlers saying Triple H is in charge. Don't blah blah blah.
Yeah,
all these reports are just like, it's all the same wording. It's like Vince is around, but Triple H is in charge. It's like,
right.
I don't believe anything anymore. I don't believe anything. After 6 months, enough.
I don't know. I really don't know. But I'm still holding out hope that it's just
we got brand split to be somewhat happy about.
Vince being a little bit excited, and I told you, I said in the last episode, I said, hey, listen.
He got out of his system.
Let's put Grandpa in a corner. Let him watch his fucking 70s porn with Vanessa Del Rio and Debbie Does Dallas, and have a little gym set, and just make him look busy. Have Ari would sit there and go, hey Vince, I don't need you at Raw tonight. Where I do need you is at
headquarters,
Buckfuck, Iowa, because we have a UFC event that I need you to help promote over there. So let's
talk about the product.
Yeah.
Sell people why they should tune into WWE.
Keep him busy.
Go out there looking like the way you do.
All right. So we shall see. There's a new video game that's coming out soon. And I saw it on YouTube. It's called Ultra Pro Wrestling. It actually looks like
better than AEW.
It looks like No Mercy. It looks like that kind of it looks like that. It's a crowdfunded game, and they don't have actual licensed wrestlers. They have their own made up companies and stuff like that. It looks pretty fun.
Made up wrestlers, or
made up wrestlers as well. Okay. So it looks pretty fun. If you guys take a look at it, Ultra
right now, there's so many
wrestling.
wrestling games out there. Like we have AEW that's still to come whenever the fuck they decide to release it, and then the other one,
apparently there's it's coming,
and then the underground game. I don't know if you've seen the trailers for it, where as Grimm,
Scott
Steiner,
Wrestle Code.
Yeah,
that is actually,
that looks really good.
That looks good. Yeah,
that has a lot of potential.
Yeah, I'm excited for as well. But we shall see, because like I said, there's a
especially with 2K23 out now. So
there's a more
DLC is about to be out on Wednesday.
Right. That's
Shit Row and the Steiners.
Yeah, that's not actually one that I'm looking forward to.
I wish we had Big Papa Pump Steiner,
but they still gonna let Rick come. You know what? I'll go into that story in a minute. Right now, right. So apparently, Rick Steiner had some words with Giselle Shaw from Impact Wrestling. Mm-hmm. Now,
for people that don't know, Giselle Shaw is
transgender. Right. So apparently, he didn't know either, and was informed by his brother. So weird. I pick up the full gist of it on Cornette, which was they were at the WrestleCon and
WrestleMania weekend.
Yeah, WrestleMania weekend, and it seemed that there was a lot of people huddling around that area where their signings were at, where the Steiners were signing, and
I think because it was like the Legends booth next to the Impact booth,
right? So
they were in the same area of each
and they were trying to make space, and
correct.
nobody was really moving fast enough for them to make space.
Okay,
and Rick, I guess made a comment which was like, hey, hey Missy, can you guys move over a little bit because we're trying to make space? And Scott,
are you sure Missy was the word he was using?
No, well, I'm paraphrasing. It was something of that latitude. And Scott, who worked recently with Impact, knows of Giselle Shaw, and told him, that's not a chick, that's a dude. That's what he says. It's this guy, and apparently that just like really
set him off.
Yeah, Rick Steiner, who apparently is like a staunch Republican. He's a real right wing guy, and also very
great
involved,
piece of shit, basically.
Yeah, very very involved with the with the school board in his town and all that shit. So he had to after he
thought he had to say something.
Yeah, after he made the ridiculous remarks, he said he then had to retract his statement and apologize, but it wasn't very much of a
real apology.
Yeah, it's that typical whoops, my bad kind of thing. So,
and from Giselle, when she told the story, at first she didn't realize it was him until she looked up and saw it was him.
Right,
which is insane. But
you can't hear that voice. That voice is distinct.
Like, well, I guess if the room was like loud or whatever, there's people talking around, and she probably was like hearing it and was like, "Wait a minute, where's that coming from?"
Right.
But yeah,
which by the way
broke the day when like NXT Stand and Deliver was going on, and Rick Steiner's son was in the main event on the show.
Right. So I don't know, man. That it's once again, this is you would think the wrestling community, even the people who are around it, would be more supportive or understanding of certain things, but
they were supportive of Giselle. But
well, I'm talking
Rick,
about the Steiners. Like, you would think that. Come on, guys! Like, really? Like,
meanwhile, out of the two, you would think Rick was the most normal. No, it's fucking Scott.
Yeah, it would be Scott who's like more chill.
And then people were getting worried about, does this affect his son on NXT? And so far, no.
And they didn't pull him from WWE 2K's DLC pack. So
meanwhile, Zachary Wentz got pulled.
Right, and
his thing was crazy too, but. I guess with the upcoming date, they really had no time to do this.
Well, that and the allegations seemed to be false.
It was very mixed.
Yeah, it seemed like it was a little bit false, a little bit. So it was just, I don't know. But in that case, it's like I said, it's just
do better,
silly.
Do better in this wrestling community.
Is it Sherilyn Guerrero?
Sherilyn,
Sherilyn Guerrero recently had allegations.
This story is ridiculous,
right? Saying that the stepfather attempted to rape her or sexually harass her or abuse her, inappropriate touching during a cruise, which the family went to, and everybody was.
Was this the Jericho cruise?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Oh Lord, if it was the Jericho cruise,
I'm not sure. But so
People attacking Vicky, and then Vicky responded saying none of this shit is true.
Right.
My man wouldn't do this. My daughter, and she said, my daughter is lying.
My daughter's lying. There's been a history of mental illness with her.
Wow.
With these accusations. I believe Shaw
Guerrero responded. And Chavo responded too in the daughter's defense.
Well, Chavo defended the daughter. What did Shaw say?
Basically just saying I have support for my sister-in-law, blah blah blah, that
right.
type of shit. But everybody was against Vicky. Vicky was just against everybody else.
And Vicky's like,
she was defending this man.
And Vicky's saying that she tried many times to have therapy with her daughter, but she's a narcissist and she's very accusatory. It's messy, and it's so horrible that you have to do this on social media. Like, it's just, it's a bad display, man. Shit, it's terrible.
And AEW took action; they removed her. Meanwhile, like, she was like,
well, she's leaving anyway.
Yeah, but they physically removed her from the website. Any mention of her?
Yeah,
so they took action right away, which is good on them.
But I don't know.
It's
man.
sad.
It is. It's a sad.
If this girl does have mental problems and if there is something going on with her, this should have been handled better.
But once again, we're at we're in a state of time now where everything has to be aired out in social media. It's ridiculous. We get unfortunate passing of Bushwacker Butch passes away. Do you know who the Bushwhackers are?
Yeah, we've seen them a bunch of times. Outlaw.
Did we?
Yeah, we saw Butch at Outlaw months ago.
Right. Yeah.
He's been around. He hasn't been one of those legends that stays home. He's been around. He goes to the cons.
Oh yeah, no, he goes to the cons. He was at he was very much involved in helping to promote wrestlers and such.
I think he was still running his promotion in New Zealand or something.
Right.
Something with that.
Yeah, but unfortunately, what occurred with him was that he had already had some cardiac issues, and apparently he
couldn't make it, or he
took a long.
He did make it, or he couldn't make it to the con.
He made it,
but he wasn't feeling good.
Right. So since he had cardiac issues already, the plane ride from New Zealand to Los Angeles, that's a pain in the ass as well. That does a lot of damage to be sitting on an airplane for that long,
right? And
especially knowing you have those kind of issues. So apparently that might have played a big factor on his death. It's unfortunate.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I know Mick Foley wrote a whole thing about like how sad it was to see Butch at the WrestleCon and just to watch him basically suffer in front of everybody.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's a terrible.
No one wants to go to WrestleCon and see a legend fucking suffer.
Yeah, but and then he passes away. Then like that's just ridiculous.
That's like Ultimate Warrior type shit.
Yeah. So, seems as though that there's some issues going on with two wrestlers from two different promotions. One, Santana from AEW. It seems as though that he's been off of TV for quite some time, over almost about a year.
But it's coming up as a year, yeah.
Due in part because he did have an injury.
Correct.
And there was also some possible discrepancies in which doesn't seem to be happy there anymore.
Yeah, I think it was obvious the way he was acting on TV.
Yeah,
last time we saw him.
I think that
him and Ortiz are not getting along anymore.
Yeah, they're not getting along.
Which Conan revealed on his show, saying how excited it is that the both of them are not working together because they have the potential to be a great team.
Yeah, and I've also spoke to a lot of different people in the inner circle who I know, who say that this has been a long time coming. It's been a while that this is happening.
Santana always wanted to be a singles guy, apparently.
Wants to break out on his own. He's the younger of the two. I think he's just 30 years old. Ortiz is maybe about 35, 36 years old.
Yeah, Santana has a longer longevity.
So, and I
think out of the two, we always said Santana had the potential to break out.
Right. And I think that right now but he's also been known to be difficult anyway. A lot of people have said that prior to this AEW situation that he's been difficult as well. So, but other than that, he is a talented dude, the guy.
I believe their contracts are coming up.
Yeah, and since he was injured,
more months are added on.
Yeah, more months are added on, but also there might be a possibility that if he's just not pleased, that he just wants to go his separate ways. I've known also through the grapevine that Santana never really committed to the whole being in the move when they were in quarantine or the whole Jacksonville thing.
Mm-hmm.
He never wanted to move down there. He still lives up here in New York City, so he would always constantly come back home and do
the whole process.
Yeah, do the whole process. He never really. And if you would see sometimes on his social medias, you would see him with his traveling on the subway to go to the airport or whatever the case may be. He's still a New Yorker, and he wasn't ever really set to commit to anything
He's very
else.
old school.
Yeah, so we shall see. We shall see how this is going to play out. Also, Bayley, there was some talk that she may not be happy with her situation in WWE.
Mm-hmm.
Another
Sasha.
Another Sasha, but another one who's in that world of conversations as well as Drew McIntyre. People are talking about. I think I think right now the WWE the WWE situation is maybe we've stayed a little bit too long with certain wrestlers. Bailey, maybe she's beginning to feel that she can branch out somewhere else.
I'll be honest, she's been stale ever since she's been on the main roster. Even when she did the heel turn, like a lot of her shtick worked the first year, but then afterwards it was like the same old shit.
I'm a heel Bailey guy. I like that. I'm cool with that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
there's no substance to it.
Right. I miss the days of just letting her be her. Mm-hmm. Right now, it just seems like she's in a trio that she obviously likes to be in.
Right. I think the direction of them, like I think before me, I said they needed to win that match and they lost it.
Right.
I think that was probably like her final breakup point. She's like, "What's the point?
Right.
Like, how do they get any more heat if we keep losing?
Exactly. So, and I think with them,
she probably sees the writing on the wall. Like she sees what Sasha's doing. Like she's thinking maybe I could do something outside.
But once again, the grass isn't always greener for a lot of people, though. Mm-hmm. I always say that. And in the Drew McIntyre, we'll get to that.
We'll get to her.
But the Drew McIntyre thing, he still has time on his contract.
Yeah.
And honestly,
have you already seen the makeshift graphic for him joining AEW?
Please. I don't see it happening. I think he's gonna get a.
I don't see him leaving unless there's a reason.
I think they're gonna revamp him.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. I think he's gonna.
I think it's just I think it's the money for him really. And let's be real too. His whole moment when he won the Rumble, won the title in quarantine in front of nobody, that obviously bothers him still probably. He won the title twice, and it was in front of no people. And then when people come back, he had that match with Lashley, that we all thought, this is where he gets the belt back, and then he didn't get the belt back.
Yeah,
and he's been on a steady climb of like ups and downs. He did beat Roman. He was just a third wheel in the Gunther match, but that was a good match.
Right.
And now it's like, what's really next for Drew McIntyre? Especially with the draft coming up, like I don't see him moving shows. I see him getting new programs, but I don't see anything else happening.
Yeah, I think that there has to be that one time where
maybe a heel turn's needed because he's been a face for the longest.
Maybe
for the longest now.
When was the last time? The last time was when he was with Dolph and Braun, right? Right.
Yeah. He only turned face in that Rumble when he claymored Brock at the Rumble. Because he went into that as a heel.
Maybe
a change of attitude, something.
Heel Drew might work. Maybe.
Yeah.
So
because he's 6'5" Scotsman with a sword.
Yeah.
There's nothing else that stands out.
And I think that gimmick has run dry already. So. Right. Logan Paul re-signs with WWE, and I know
shocker.
M2 Inc. is pleased about that.
Did you love the image of him re-signing? It's the same thing, which is different color.
Yeah.
Yellow jacket, yellow shirt, blue jacket.
Yeah.
The only difference was Stephanie not in the picture.
I like the fact that he's taken to WWE and wrestling, really well. So you
think he needs to show up more?
No. Let him get his PLE matches. Who's next in line to get a match with him?
On the current roster, I would say maybe AJ when he comes back.
Okay.
But right now he's better obviously heel, so I'm trying to think of top baby faces that would work.
Well, we did see we saw a small moment with
him and Roman
and Ricochet.
Yeah, if Ricochet gets built up enough. Yeah. He also mentioned he wants to go for titles, so it'd be interesting if he goes for mid card titles.
Do we want to see him get his ass chopped by Gunther?
Yes. That way he can go on his impulsive show and be like, "Oh shit."
Oh, him in theory wouldn't be bad.
Him and Ray 1-on-1,
right?
Before Ray retires.
It's interesting.
Him and Edge.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Which, speaking of Edge,
his deal is almost done. This summer coming up is going to be the final one for him.
Would he go to AEW?
Yes, to join Christian.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Money.
It
depends on the money.
I don't
And
think
if he's satisfied with what he's been doing the last few years, then he's done. But maybe a turn in AEW. I don't know. I don't know anymore. A lot of people join different companies. I'm like, why are you here?
Right.
And there's people in certain companies that are there and they're stuck there. So I don't want to see Edge stuck in a place where he's like, oh fuck, I want to get WWE. Can I go back?
Yeah, I'm just happy. The whole thing
with the whole Judgment Day too. That lasted a full year.
Right.
And we're talking about storytelling. Honestly, that wasn't the best storyline for him. It just kept going and going and going. And he'd show up every 3 months.
But it brought up the Judgment Day. Mm-hmm. It didn't do much for him, but it brought up for Judgment Day. And I think that's what he wanted.
Yeah, the only person that got over it really is Dominic and Rhea.
Right. But
Finn and Priest are in their 40s, but they still need something if they're going to be around longer.
Well, Damien's about to get his moment with Backlash, so he's going to go.
We'll see.
He's going to go to Puerto Rico and turn it up with
probably going to be a
Bad Bunny. So
probably going to be a 6-man.
What else do we have in the card here? FTR signs a 4-year deal.
They say that once that deal's done, they retire.
Brian Cage signs a 4-year deal.
As a Brian Cage
3-year deal.
As a Brian Cage fan, I'm fine for him getting his money, but fuck.
I wasn't seeing in the cards that he was going to go to WWE. Yeah. I didn't see it. Although
I think with the
look of him, yeah.
In WWE it matches, but I think honestly with the change, whatever the fuck creative is going on, it's better. He's in a better spot, I think, right now. He has a belt. It doesn't mean much, but
yeah, I
just the fact that
I'm going to tell you one
for
thing,
the duration of his time in AEW, he sat out basically for 1 year.
I'll tell you one thing though, they're going to fucking regret it. He's going to regret that shit, and I think FTR is going to regret signing that 4-year deal as well.
I think they're fine.
Yeah, I think they're going to regret it.
Because AEW, they're in the best spot they want.
But there's a lot of shit going on in that company that just shouldn't be happening, and it's
all happened backstage.
Yeah, so it's just. I think they're gonna see, especially.
I think they're gonna kick themselves after they said that they would retire after this deal.
If you figure that if the old man stays away, and
in those 4 years.
And I mean, come on, let's think about it like this. The old man got a 2-year deal with Endeavor. He can't be around for much longer. Mm-hmm. He can't be around. He's going to be, by the time that deal is done, he's going to be 80.
Correct.
So,
and he's a billionaire now.
And after what happened with WrestleMania, the eyes that went on the company this past month with, people were saying, wow, like people who hadn't watched wrestling in years we're looking at WrestleMania.
In a span of a weekend, it went from all positive to negative in a day.
And right, but just WrestleMania alone.
Yeah, it was. I would say the most successful Mania they've had in years.
Right, and people, like I said, people were looking at it like if it was, it
was a sport.
Like a sport. Or
like
if Super Bowl.
If they're watching UFC or anything like the playoffs, anything like that.
So I think if it continues on down that road. I think that a lot of guys that's in that AEW roster that used to be in WWE are probably going to be
or even like under their microscope of who they're going to sign, like a Jay White.
So it's like,
because Jay White also signed the. We'll get into him later.
Yeah, but other than that,
to cover.
For the rest of Wrestling Rundown, I had Matt stop in, and we'll just change over to there. Homework and I will go into around the Swiss Circle, but just listen to me and Matt talk shit about the fucking the Wembley Stadium deal.
Just
hold on a second. Also on the rundown this week, we have 2 signings that AEW had made. Number 1 was Nigel McGuinness. Nigel. That's the one I think slipped away more than anything from WWE. I love Nigel McGuinness as a commentator on NXT.
I do too, yeah.
Oski's sitting in for this because I thought that he would just love to have this conversation.
Oh, yeah. Well, What's going on, everybody? I'm happy to be sitting in for this. I'm assuming will be turned into a rant in some shape or form.
You always find a way to make this about ranting, and I think it's just more of a healthy conversation between individuals and the listeners.
I think it's important to have these conversations because if you don't, you'll end up banging your head against the wall.
Yeah, then it's a rant. Then you're right. It's a fucking rant. I had wrestling fan Frankie hit me up, and he was like, "I can't wait to hear Corny and your thoughts about such and such." And I go, "Yeah, that's pretty much the goal I'm going for these days. It's pretty much what I'm looking for."
Yep. Hey, it's real, and that's all you could ask for. So if that's what it is, then I'll be Jim Cornette. Which, by the way, does Jim Cornette still do his podcast?
Of course, you crazy shit. That viejo ain't going on anywhere. Just like Vince, he ain't going anywhere.
Oh, fuck you.
So Nigel McGuinness is signed with AEW, which is most likely the Ring of Honor signing, which bothers me because it's Nigel McGuinness is All Elite, but isn't it supposed to be Nigel McGuinness is Ring of Honor?
He's Ring of Honored. He's honored. I think
I can't stand this fucking guy.
People are floating around that Nigel McGuinness is William Regal's Combat Club replacement.
And I wouldn't be mad at that.
And that he's gonna be the new manager, but which makes sense. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know. You know what AEW does with these veterans. They'll bring them in, blow them hard, give them whatever the fuck they want to keep them around. So if Nigel wants to be the manager of Combat Club, I'm pretty sure they'll make that happen. But
wouldn't it be funny if an opening happens at NXT and they say, "Hey, Nigel, want a gig?"
You think he would do it?
Shawn Michaels is like, "Hey, Nigel, we got something for you over here. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I could talk to Hunter, and you could come over, and maybe just maybe. I can't promise anything, but maybe by tomorrow you could be on the show. We'll get rid of Booker T.
Booker T could be done, or you could come out of retirement and face Walter for one last match. What do you think?
No, he's not wrestling.
You got it?
Nah, he's not wrestling anymore. That shit is done. He's done with that.
he's finito.
And yeah, his health-wise, he can't do it.
But, I mean, I will say it was a good signing by AEW in terms of commentary and Ring of Honor. If it's exclusive to Ring of Honor, then I have no problem with it. I mean, I'm a true believer in wanting Ring of Honor to succeed. So if having Nigel McGuinness, former Ring of Honor champion, there, then that works. Do I think that I'm missing him right now in WWE? Yes.
Right.
But I'm also missing Mauro Ronaldo. And the last time I heard his ass was in Creed 3. So
yeah. So I'm thinking.
I mean,
when you was watching Creed 3, did you go, "Oh shit, that's Mauro"?
Yes, I did. I was like, that's Mauro. I was like, oh shit. He's in there. The guy from First Take, whatever the fuck his name is, not who used to be on First Take. Max Kellerman, he's on there.
Kellerman is there.
Stephen A. Smith's there. First Take. It's pretty cool, but I don't know. I like the Nigel McGuinness signing. I'm not really worried about that one. That one kind of is like, okay, like especially with the whole announcement of which we'll get into in a minute about the Wembley thing. They think that signing is going to help them with ticket sales. It won't.
So the other signing that they just got, and people believe this is a big thing because it's like, ooh, look who got snatched. Who got snatched was Switchblade Jay White. And I'm one to tell you that it would have been cool if WWE did get him. But on the flip side, it's like he would have debuted and the true WWE fan base would have been like, wow, who the fuck is that?
Yeah, I'll be honest. I wouldn't have been happy if WWE signed him. I don't think Jay White's a WWE guy. I just don't see it. He would have debuted and it would have been like yay, who are you? And then, you know, like, I don't know. It transitions better for him to be in AEW. I think that from the start that I was kind of on the fence of, I was on the team of him going to AEW. So I'm not mad at it. It's just now AEW's roster is getting pretty chunky.
But it's always been chunky, but
now it's getting obese.
But someone's been eating a lot of Popeyes. They've been going to the fucking.
And yes.
What
do you think about it? Do you think that it's a big splash like everyone's saying it is? Or
No,
do you think that
it's
it's just
not.
like, okay?
No, it's not, because I know a lot of people who had the same thought process where they believe that Jay White going to WWE would have been like AJ Styles showing up in WWE, and I was like, no, it's not the same. I said it's not the same.
AJ Styles was in a different league, in my opinion, than Jay White is. I'm sorry.
AJ had been like the number one recruit for WWE that wrestling fans had been waiting for years, and he was recognizable. He was known, and even WWE fans knew who he was
because he was in TNA.
Right. Same could be said when it happened when Samoa Joe. When Joe showed up in WWE, everybody was like, "Holy shit, this is fucking cool."
Yeah.
But
Jay White was only been in Japan, so it's like,
right,
no,
right, and it's kind of a fitting thing for that to happen because of where AEW is looking to go right now. Where are they looking to go? Who the fuck knows? But that's why Jay White signed there, because who the fuck knows?
I just I don't know if it's because I've been out of the wrestling game for a little bit, but when I saw the news feed on Jay White going to AEW, everyone treated it as like the biggest splash of AEW. This is groundbreaking. This is changing the whole mold. I'm like, is it really though? I mean, maybe I'm a little rusty, but I don't see that as I see it as a good pickup, but I see it as okay, like.
The one thing that I know that
fun.
everybody is sitting there talking about is like, oh, Juice Robinson and Jay White, are they starting a Bullet Club in AEW? And it's like, who cares? It's like, who gives a shit? Like,
They'll face the Elite, and I don't fucking know. It's too many cooks in the kitchen. By the way, Keith Lee, I hate to tell you, grass ain't always green on the other side, Sherm. Keith Lee went from fighting Brock Lesnar to the Phantom.
Oh, now he's got a match leading up to with Chris Jericho. This is a funny position in which AEW is in right now. You had a great opportunity to counteract what WWE had done. Probably not to say to go attack it, but piggyback off of what happened at Mania. You could have probably opened up, which, by the way, AEW was at USB Arena here in New York for Dynamite, and they were doing their tapings. And from insider information who were at the venues, let's just say you could have easily parked your car in the front of the parking lot because
yikes! It wasn't.
There weren't a lot of people there. No, there weren't a lot of people there. And then when Ring of Honor happened, it was like, woof! You're definitely gonna get home in fucking 10 minutes. You'll be okay. So
Ring of Honor was giving Velocity vibes.
Yeah, it was giving
Saturday Morning Slam. And you know, that's unfortunate because Ring of Honor, I think Ring of Honor has the potential to be the better product. I mean, if you focus on, like, if you look at the roster that Ring of Honor could have, if let's just say Ring of Honor had exclusive talent and didn't merge with AEW, if we go down the list, I would have like Cesaro, Samoa Joe, Brian Cage, I'm trying to think of other names,
Danielson.
but you know what I mean? Like, yeah, Christopher Daniels. Like, I feel like Ring of Honor would be the better product, and than what AEW is giving me right now, to be honest. Like with that list of talent,
Mark Briscoe.
And, you know, there's also another free agent that not a lot of people are talking about, Nick Aldis.
Right.
This is a good example of what I mean. When I look at Jay White, I'm like, yeah, AEW. When I think of Nick Aldis, I see Triple H jerking off in his bedroom.
Oh, hell yeah. Definitely.
And he's a WWE guy. Like, he is a WWE guy, thick and thin. So that's my point, where it's like, you know what? Everyone's like, oh, that's another thing. Everyone was like, oh, Vince McMahon returning played a huge factor in Jay White's where he landed. Not really. I really don't think it did, to be honest.
Now think of this, right? We just saw a fucking great match that was needed for a long time for the IC title in WrestleMania, right? Gunther versus Sheamus.
People call it one of the best triple threat matches in WrestleMania history.
Right. So imagine on SmackDown, you get the three of them facing off again, and you got Gunther cutting a promo talking about how he's the greatest IC champion. McIntyre comes in, Sheamus comes in, blah blah. Then you hear music, and it's Nick Aldis who's involved.
Ooh, Nick Aldis versus Walter. That would be money.
I mean, like, he's part of the mix now. And then if you wanted to put the American appeal in it, you get Karrion Kross in that as well. This shit writes money. It writes money.
It is, and it would make the IC belt more prestigious than it already is, thanks to Walter. It would make honestly, I'll be honest with you, Walter versus Nick Aldis, that's main event, like, right. Period. Like, if you're not going to have Roman Reigns on every show because of his light schedule, WrestleMania back. Let's just say for shits and giggles, Nick Aldis debuts on SmackDown. He's not going to. We're just hypothetically here, and they set up that feud, easily the main event of WrestleMania Backlash. Right. Easily. Like, that is money written all over it. And that's a smart move by WWE to do. And I'm surprised, because he's officially a free agent. I'm surprised Triple H has not salivated and basically told him, name a price and we'll sign you.
I would like to believe that let's keep that under wraps kind of thing. Like, let's not see that the conversations are happening for that. I would think that a Nick Aldis signing is more of a recognizable one than a Jay White one for people. They know who his wife is.
Magnus.
They know him as TNA. Magnus. They know him from NWA. They know that his lineage with the NWA title. I think that the Jay White signing for AEW is an easy gimme. But I'm going to tell you right now, there's no conversations about what the contract is, how long is it for. But with Jay White, I wouldn't be surprised if he says, I'm giving you guys a year, if that, to make it happen. Because what's the real booking behind it? What is there going to be something down the line for a title? Is there something going down the line for Omega Jay White face off in AEW? Like, what's the real? Right now, you're dancing with Ricky Starks. So what's the purpose?
But honestly, that leads into another conversation I'd like to have one day and come back on the show and talk about how I'm so against long-term contracts. And that's in sports and wrestling, whatever you want to call it. I fucking can't stand long-term contracts. They never work out. They always blow up in your face. I like the 2-year, 3-year contract, and then you come back in those 2 years and go, did I do what I was supposed to do? And if I did, I'll sign you for another 3 years. And if you didn't, you could go on your merry way.
Right.
And I think in this Jay White deal, which like I said, we don't know the details of the contract, I think I hope it's short term because once again, the grass ain't always greener, and his ass might go back to Japan and go, you know what, the States suck balls. I'm going back.
Yeah, and which is gonna lead us to the main event. So might as well go that way. So the big announcement that Tony Khan wanted to have at AEW Dynamite this week was All Out will be in London this year.
Wow.
Which is a great look for the UK.
It is.
And
correct me if I'm wrong. All Out's their WrestleMania, right?
Right.
Okay.
And his announcement is that All Out will be at Wembley Stadium.
I think that's a really big deal.
It is.
You know, I think that's groundbreaking.
It is.
They're gonna break records, all right. The lowest attendance in a Wembley Stadium event. They're gonna break all the records that they don't want to break.
Talk about shooting your shot! Like, wow.
Yeah, they're swinging for the fences. They're gonna hit a pop fly in the infield.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, WWE did Wembley Stadium, but this was in the 90s.
They did do Wembley Stadium in the 90s.
I think that was SummerSlam, Brett versus Davey Boy Smith for the IC title, I believe.
Yes. It was Hulk Hogan versus the entire fucking Destruction of Doom, whatever. No, I'm kidding. It was Brett and Bulldog. Yeah.
Right. So now, as of my research, I want to be sure. I definitely want to, because I don't want to put out any
say all this jazz, find out you're wrong,
false accusations of venues and such. But apparently, from what has been told, is that Wembley Stadium holds 90,000 people.
And how many people were at WrestleMania this year?
They averaged 61. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So.
Oh boy.
Okay, wait.
Someone put drugs in Tony Khan's cereal in the morning.
Okay, so all right. So WrestleMania this year had 61,000 each night. So which was about total 100. So but you know, those numbers could be fixed, whatever. We know that. So it could be
right.
And so let's say even if it's not 61,000, we could say an average maybe 57, because my brother was there for night 2 and he said there was no empty seats. None.
Yeah. And that night sucked the most. So yikes.
Right. So you can imagine night 1. We'll say, we could say 57. If you want to lowball it, you'll say 56,000, because, you know, with stadium or with the stage and all that stuff, we knock out a few thousand seats. Should show up. So, you know, they say 61. So let's say we'll lowball it to at maybe 56,000. That's still a lot of motherfuckers. That's still a lot of motherfuckers.
There's a lot of people. So
we'll say 112,000 for both nights. That's crazy. WrestleMania 3 at the Silver Dome was looked at 83,000 plus, right? And that's inflated as well, because you could still probably say, yeah, it's a little bit inflated. The real estimate was probably maybe around 74,000. Okay, whatever, right?
Right.
He's looking to fill 90,000 in that arena. So if we want to lowball that because of stage and such. Let's drop it down to about maybe 85,000. Maybe I'll give you 84. Right. Is that probable? He's looking to believe that the UK fans are going to come out in droves for that.
Like sheep at the barn.
Right.
Listen. Do I think that the venue is nice? Absolutely. That's a big deal. Yeah, the venue is nice, but and I understand what he's trying to do. Like, I'm not mad at the hustle. I'm not mad at the venue in terms of, because it's a historic venue. So when you have a company and you have a baby, you want to dream big, right? I get that. But if you're gonna sit here now and have some ego and act like you're the king of the castle and you're gonna sell out this place, you have another thing coming. That's where my problem arises. It's thinking that you're going to sell out Wembley when you're probably only going to fill in not even half.
Listen.
They're going to need. There's always pictures of people on Facebook posting WWE live events in Raw, how the top is taped over. Wembley, 85% of Wembley is going to have to be tarped over. So give me a break.
Listen, everyone laughed at Vince for Silverdome. They laughed. Everyone laughed.
Yep. I mean, so what do you think? Do you think that it's you think it's a reach for the sky moment, good for you for believing in yourself, or is it this is embarrassing?
Both. I'm going for both. Because I believe that you gotta take a shot one way or another. You gotta. Listen, the UK fans, they're passionate, but you also got to take in consideration of a lot of the UK fans are UK fans because of WWE. It's not because of
they're very loyal with WWE.
Yeah, it's not because of you. TNA had a strong following in the UK and in India. They had strong following.
They did.
And you know what's the biggest venues that they did? 12,000.
And they're and Tony Khan's trying to hit 90.
90. He's piggybacking on the fact that his soccer club is his football club is going to help out. What's that? Fulton, whatever the soccer club he has. And
yes, I don't even know what the fuck he has anymore.
But it's not the same. It isn't the same.
Do I think do I think that there's going to be a big fan base, a fan turnout? Sure, but they're going to have to make it look they're going to have to make it look like a fucking movie.
They're going to take cardboard cutouts and place.
Well, I was about to say that next week we're going to get a fucking post on Facebook that generic male cardboard cutout is all elite.
Listen,
it's going to be it's going to be a picture of a cardboard cutout on fucking Facebook.
They're going to Thunderdome it. They're going to do.
yeah, literally.
They're going to see a picture of Matt. They're going to have a picture of Matt in the Thunderdome.
Yeah. Oh shit! Remember when I was on that shit?
Yeah, exactly.
That was fucking hilarious. You were fucking. That was too funny.
Let's put you in a lucha mask.
Yo, dude, I was on with a lucha mask, right?
No, I think you was on for your regular.
Yo, that shit was fucking hilarious. They're gonna do that. Watch. Or they're just gonna fill the place with all the fucking random indie talent they fucking blow, like Anthony Gangone this week.
Oh, come on.
Gangone, right?
Stop it. Gangone, get my man love. He was on AEW this week.
Good for you. Anyways.
What an ass. No, but seriously,
good for you.
90,000. Yo, I can't even say it without. Yo, listen, more power to you, man. Yo, keep
dream big, baby.
Yeah, keep it going, man. Listen, talk about
how much do you think Tony Khan is having to spend on this? How much do you think Tony Khan is spending on to rent the venue to get Wembley?
Easily. Let's just say this: if Chicago's smallest arena, because it wasn't the arena they use for the basketball games. if it was their smallest arena and they had to get $1 million draw, you would have to get a profit. You would have to say that at least minimum that it was about 50% that he had to make, right?
Right.
So you would think that the same with Wembley, it would be 50% that he had. Oh, Jesus Christ. Listen, you better get a fucking BTS reunion. You better get a One Direction reunion. Harry Styles better perform.
Better make Taylor Swift. You better have Taylor Swift have another date.
At least with WWE, with Backlash, they're going to be in Puerto Rico. Bad Bunny is going to be there, so that's a free concert right there. That's a free.
Technically, yeah, no.
You know how many
they're
people?
not.
You know how many people out here in New York are trying to book a flight to Puerto Rico just to be at Backlash? That's
I know.
crazy.
I know it is, but that's good marketing.
The combo package was $1,400, and people were ready to get up on it
because it was smart,
right?
Because Bad Bunny in Puerto Rico they're gonna blow the roof off that joint. Period. Like
Wembley?
Bad Bunny is not some. Bad Bunny is not a mediocre artist. Like he is. I shouldn't be saying this because I don't like blowing people, but he's like considered God over there.
Oh no, there's no blowing it. It's facts. It is facts. They treat him like
God over there.
Unofficial governor of fucking Puerto Rico. No, it's true.
And to have him in a wrestling match over there in his hometown, in his homeland, boy, it's about to be crazy.
As a fellow Puerto Rican, I don't listen to his music, but I get it. I understand. I don't get it.
But do you think that was? I'm laughing even saying this to be devil's advocate, but do you think that the Nigel McGuinness signing was like, well, we'll have him there?
Yeah. No, hell the fuck no. Get the fuck out of here. Hell no. Listen.
So
you have to resurrect the fucking. You will have to resurrect the Beatles so that 90,000 will be at AEW.
Well, I was about to ask you that. What's the dream match main event to draw? What would be in your eyes? Let's do a dream booking scenario right now. Let's just say you're Tony Khan and your goal is to fill up this damn arena. What matches would you put based on the AEW roster
alive
to make them stand out?
For people alive.
A lot right now on the roster. Like if you were Tony Khan, you were told right now you had to book this show, you have to sell this place out. What matches are you making? Seriously, I'm not even joking. I don't want like a joking answer. Seriously, what would you book to get the best chance to sell out that show?
Can we get CM Punk back?
That's realistic. It's a possibility.
Okay. Shit. Maybe Ospreay versus Punk.
Like, is there any British people on the roster?
I'm gonna say like Ospreay versus Punk, maybe.
You know what I think would work? Well, no, he's Australian. I was gonna say Zack Sabre Jr. versus someone, but he's Australian.
No. He's no way. That's what I'm going with. I'm trying to get that appeal.
Page would be a big deal.
For 90,000?
No, I'm just saying like book
no
thing.
Way.
Not the. I'm not saying she's the show stealer. I'm saying like if you book
Page
the card up and down, like
Monet is 90,000. No way. No one will give two fucks about that. I can hear them just screaming out "cunt" hearing that, and that's not even a derogatory term over there. In the U.S. it is. Out here, it's a bad term. Over there, it's just a regular thing. I'm not going to pay money for that cunt. And they would say the same shit for Ospreay versus Jay White. They wouldn't give a shit. Hey, you would have to.
So what do you think? What are you thinking?
Gee, 90,000. Yo, You're gonna have it would be like a Saudi deal. You're gonna have to resurrect somebody from the grave. It's like that. It's that. I don't see Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar. You better make them signings happen. Even that will be suspect. I don't see it. 90. No. You can't even draw in the country that, you know what this would tell me? If you draw 90,000 in the UK, then you shouldn't run shows in North America anymore. You're done. You don't ever be here anymore. There's no need to be here. It's like, oh, I guess I missed my target audience. My target audience should be overseas. Goodbye, everybody. Orange Cassidy versus fucking Saraya. Oh, I don't know. It's not feasible for that.
So you have no answer.
No, there's no. It's different with Japan. When it comes to Wrestle Kingdom, and even they have acknowledged that their audience is dwindling, and this is why they do it on a 2-day. WWE piggyback themselves from New Japan because even they realize that their audience is dwindling. So rather than just do it on one night, that they'll do it on two and overload it with shit. You know, New Japan learned that after the pandemic. It's like, we can't do this. And to sell out the Tokyo Dome, we can do it. But the pandemic had shown that, it's not the same anymore. We got to split the audience. You think that you could do All Out for 90 fucking thousand individuals and whatever? You know what? Let's see how many individuals are real indie fans. I will guarantee that the venue will change.
No, I don't think they're going to go back on the venue.
Why?
I don't think they're going to change the venue because then that's showing that they lose. I think they're going to make the best of it, and they're going to put fucking cardboard cutouts, so they're going to cover most of the stadium with fucking decorations and lights.
It's like my brother said. My brother said that he goes, yo, they're going to end up sitting there and fucking going to every pub in London and Blackpool, whatever it is, and just giving out flyers and free tickets. Buy a ticket and bring 3 mates.
I was about to make a reference, but I don't know how that would sound. You know what? I don't fucking care. I don't watch wrestling anymore. That's like House of Glory saying they're going to be in Madison Square Garden. Fuck out of here.
Yeah, but
they're not fucking booking.
But they know they can't.
No, I don't want to hear it. That's not realistic. There's no way.
But they know they can't. They know it. They know.
AEW doesn't know. AEW doesn't know.
You can't even say House of Glory. GCW knows they can't sell out the Garden. They know. They know it.
They're still in barn. They're still in farms.
Yeah, they know it. If you get Hammerstein, that's great. They're not gonna sit there and fucking and think they can fill the Garden. First of all,
AEW. I think AEW could fill the Garden.
This was a. You think AEW can fill the Garden?
I do.
Matt, they couldn't fill fucking UBS Arena.
Fine, give them Barclays Center.
They couldn't fill UBS Arena. Stop it.
So what you're saying is AEW should work. They should have their All Out at Club Amador.
They should have it in the Mexican restaurant up the block from my house.
Oh, I miss that place so bad. Ooh, stop it! You're making me want to go home now. I miss that spot.
No, stop. Let's be for
Yo, I used to pull up with the penny and the fucking the rice.
Tony is shooting his shot as like he's trying to get the baddest bitch right now. It's just ridiculous. It's terrible. Stop it. Just stop.
Imagine, his dad probably told him that if he could sell out the Wembley Stadium, he'll get a raise in his allowance.
And you know what's the crazy thing is that they probably have a relationship with Wembley because of the business wise years ago, or because of people they know. And it's like, don't worry about it. If you can't recoup, we got you. It's okay. It's a hit or miss. You'll be all right. And that's why he'll take his shot. All it would look like is to say that 90,000 capacity, which we did an estimate of what it would rationally be, which would be nowhere near, because they got hyped off. All Out 1, we sold out in 5 minutes. It's like, yeah, everybody was hyped for fucking a new company. All Out 2, we sold out in 20 minutes. Okay. You guys have a following. Next is a Dream. Right. Yeah. Fuck off. It's like, fuck off. Not going to happen. But other than that, thank you again for sitting in with us, bro, man.
Of course.
Big things for you to come back here. It's almost like, we didn't leave. We didn't have a space. We picked up where we left off, and I want to say that I love you, and I appreciate what you've done for the show, especially with the 400 episodes plus downloaded, subscribed, and people were part of, and you were part of the 6 years of the show, and I thank you for all that.
Of course, bro. I love you. You're, like I said, we go beyond the show. We're family, and that's never ever going to change. So I appreciate you more than you know. Like I told you, we had a conversation about a month or two ago, about my life and everything, and how much I owe you. So you know that runs deep, and I will always come to the show if you need me. If you need to give me a call, you just want to go back to the old days. Hey, I'm here. You know what I'm saying? So we always make things work. I like the way you said that. We took off like we were still recording every week, and honestly, it felt that way, and that made me happy. So I'm happy I called in before, and I'm happy that we could just do the show like we used to, because no matter what, I talk about the show every day. When someone asks me about that tattoo on my leg, what's that tool on your leg? Well, let me tell you about it. So I love you, bro. I love the family, and I can't wait to come and visit. Like I said, I think I'm coming home in May or June.
Ooh.
And when I do, I would love to come in the studio and more important than anything, chop it up with you and the family off the cameras, and just get some food and see you again. But if you want to record something, then I'll be more than happy to come back in the studio for some chatting about how shitty Wembley Stadium is not going to fucking be filled.
All right,
I'm always down.
All right, brother. And then for you guys, got more to come. See you guys in a second.
This is the good old jar, and you're listening to Turnbuckle Tabloid.
With my boy Home Milk Mike.
Hello.
Mike, I got a game I want to play with you.
Uh-oh.
Okay. For this, the game is entitled, I forgot the name of it. No.
I love how you didn't give me any warning before you recorded that this is what you're doing.
Oh, yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
The game is called Movie, TV, or Wrestling Angle. So, but it's basically movie, TV together. It's either movie or TV or a wrestling angle. Okay. So What I'm going to do is I'm gonna give you a description of 2 scenarios. You're going to pick one is going to be which one is a movie and which one is a wrestling angle.
Okay.
Okay, ready? Okay. So, first one. Father finds out his married daughter is trying to get pregnant by in vitro, so he donated his sperm to the bank and pays an employee to insert the specimen in his daughter.
Movie.
Right?
Yeah.
That's movie?
Okay. I'm going movie right away.
Okay. A father trains his daughter to be a top-notch athlete until she comes to the realization that she doesn't want to compete in a male-orientated world. But her bond with her father and sports is needed to help him win a competition against her uncle.
I'm going to say movie as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
The first one
Uh-huh.
is a wrestling angle.
Seriously?
That was a proposed wrestling angle.
Was that the Vince one?
Yes.
Fuck.
Yes.
See, the thing is, I was thinking about that too, but I was like, no.
Yes.
Okay.
And the second one was a movie.
Okay, good.
That was the premise for Little Giants.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
that sounds like every like Disney fucking thing.
Yeah, that's the present.
Fuck. The first one was a tricky one because I was thinking, I when you were saying, I was like, wait, that sounds like Vince, but it's like, wait, no, maybe it was a movie, like one of those fucking stupid rated R movies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We'll do more later on when I think of more.
Okay.
What I watched, what I listened to, what I partook in this past week, I was very impressed by how they did the WWE Legends on A&E. They did the Dusty Rhodes one. I thought it was great, beautiful. Because I've seen so many documentaries on Dusty Rhodes before, but with this one, I enjoyed the fact that they played more with the kids. Dustin, Cody, his 2 other sisters, Teal and I think it's Kristen. I believe their names are. It
had Dustin on the piece, right?
Yeah. Dustin was there. It's a very beautiful program that they did, in paying tribute to Dusty. It's a beautiful thing.
Was it more family oriented than the wrestling side? Because I think everybody knows his wrestling side, but nobody knows.
They talked a lot about how
like he was away a lot.
He was away, but the kids they understood it more. They got it that why he the way he was, and they never said that he was a bad dad. But he just
I think over the years a lot of their opinions on their father has changed, especially Dustin.
Well, Dustin spoke about the 5 years that he didn't speak with his father and why. And
I think one of the reasons was like Terry Reynolds.
It was the main reason was Terry.
Right.
And
which is stupid looking back on it.
Yeah. And he spoke about when they finally reunited, how that occurred, and it was just like they picked up right where they left off. It was a beautiful piece that they did.
A lot of father-son relationships or whatever, best friends act similar stories.
Right.
Don't talk for a few years and then just pick it right back up.
Yeah, and it was a beautiful tribute, and they talk about doing the Dusty Rhodes Foundation to help up and coming athletes in sports and neighborhoods and stuff like that. It's great. And Cody didn't sound like Cody. Cody sounded more demure. It wasn't the
what do you want to talk about, Cody?
Yeah, it wasn't the verbose Cody. It was and made me think about what's going on with his situation in WWE. But I'll get to that in a second. Cornette this week discussed how he can't stand Bray Wyatt, but also
Bray Wyatt hasn't been around.
Yeah, but he can't stand why the hell what he was doing and what's the point of the nonsense with him. Of course, they talk about
that's a future kind of promo on Bray Wyatt for us.
the aftermath of WrestleMania and what's the next look. He also discussed the purchase of WWE by Endeavor. A lot of podcasts were doing it as well. Kevin Nash discussed it. He pretty much, Eric Bischoff actually predicted it that was going to happen. That was the better look for the company. Kevin Nash this week spoke about his WrestleMania history, and it actually
that sounds funny.
It actually made him mad because he was like, I had a shitty WrestleMania history, so there was nothing really for me to talk about. He hated it. He said I didn't get to main event Mania because that was
LT
the one,
and Bam
Bam,
and then he had a shitty match with the Undertaker
right
the year after.
So he's like,
think about it, he only had 2 WrestleMania matches.
Yeah, 2 WrestleMania matches and one.
He was ringside for the ladder match.
For the ladder match, right? So, he talks about how the payouts was shit. It was
also 18. He didn't do anything either.
No, so. He's like, in mid conversation, I don't want to talk about this shit anymore.
The only time his name is ever fucking mentioned for WrestleMania is that he was in the streak,
right? So he's like, I don't want to talk about this shit anymore. And he talked about his history. I mean, his past trip to WrestleMania weekend, the WrestleCon and stuff like that. So I love Nash. He's goofy shit. He's always fucking high.
I've turned the corner on Nash. I like him, the human being, but the wrestler,
right?
Still 50-50 on.
And he also talked about the WWE gambling situation, and he's like, it doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah, he's like, all of us, there's no way.
Wrestling Bios had WCW's highest rated matches as of Cage. What's the name of the website?
CageNet or Cageside?
Yes, it's Cageside. Yeah,
Cageside.
From there, our boys at OSW. Did you listen to them this?
Yes,
this
I did.
Week? The Bound for Glory 08.
Yeah, they're doing the Main Event Mafia arc.
Right. And
from Bound for Glory 08 to Bound for Glory 09.
Right. And they did the after Bound for Glory at 08. That was the infamous Samoa Joe promo. In which
they covered it.
Right.
Yeah. They talked about how Nash punked him out.
Yeah. Was that Russo or was that
you? Oh, it was all you. Smack.
Other than that, guys, I'll let you guys know my thoughts about the next part of WWE 2K23. Right now, I am
DLC review coming.
My Rise. I'm in My Rise next week. I'll be discussing that.
You played both yet, or you're only on one?
I'm on the first one. I'm doing the male side first.
The Lock.
Yeah. So the Lock.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I completed both. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
the women's one is so dialogue, so WWE dialogue heavy. It's not even funny.
It's kind of womanly.
Not even that. It's just like the verbiage. The verbiage is like it's ridiculous.
At least I like with the Lock that it's tongue in cheek.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, I'll give you guys my full review of that. And also, I found out how to reset the WWE Universe. So you can actually get what you want with your rivalries, how to use managers properly, and all that. So,
have you tried my GM mode yet?
I have. I did a review on it.
Much better than last year's.
I hate that I have to book it as though like if I'm fucking AEW. I hate that shit. That everything has to be a fucking stipulation match to get good reviews. To get star ratings, you gotta have a tables match or a last man standing. Or it doesn't work with my storyline.
Well, that's the difference between Universe and my GM mode. GM is just something different than Universe,
right?
With Universe, you could do rivalries, and GM it just there's rivalry implements, but it's more based on the matches.
One thing I had a problem with, I couldn't draft LA Knight.
Really? You're gonna have to look at your draft pool. See if he's available.
I would look to see if anyone drafted him, and I could never find him.
Well, it depends on who's available on the draft.
And I looked, and
if you turn certain people off, he will pop up.
I turned them on. It was weird. I could not draft him. I was like, okay.
It's also his popularity is low in the game for
some reason. I don't know.
Yeah.
But other than that's pretty much what I watched, what I listened to, and what I partook in the outside world. And we'll go into Raw. like I said, don't really want to go into match by match.
Right.
I just want to go into.
Well, let me ask you, what stood out to you on this Raw compared to last week's show?
Well, I want to go into last week's show first because I didn't get to discuss it last
I think it's obvious who books a show.
All right.
Like we know what Triple H books a show, what Vince's show looks like.
Right. I wasn't too.
This show, there was no segment cuts.
Yeah, I wasn't too nervous about what was going to happen on SmackDown. It
was much better than Raw.
Right, but I wasn't too nervous.
If you skipped Raw, it's like nothing happened.
Yeah, but I wasn't nervous about Vince going there. I like to book that. I was okay with that. Hold on. Turn on my AC. Okay. So it was just that Raw. Like I said, he was excited. You know, the new owners were in the building, and it's like
First impression.
He was like Stewart in fucking Mad TV. He's like, look what I can do, and then just fucking started doing stupid shit
With a weird mustache.
Yeah, and I swear it's like Dick Dastardly. He just looks like a fucking weird.
He's a
villain.
real life villain now.
Yeah, I tell you, he's an oil tycoon salesman or some shit. He's fucking ridiculous.
I hate you that you posted the Walt Disney picture.
Oh my god, it's perfect.
It's cursed.
But he, that Raw, it was abysmal.
I think like the beginning and the ending were the most the best parts of the show. Everything in the middle sucked,
right?
Because everything was being changed, everything was scrambling. And not for nothing, the first and the last parts of that Raw featured Cody, Brock, and the Bloodline.
Right.
Everything else in the middle is like Jesus Christ! It's like you've mixed everything up.
I think
poor Seth Rollins had a promo, whatever he was going to do, and he got cut.
Yeah, and that's it messes up the flow of the show. Everybody had gotten comfortable with what had been going on for the past 8 months, 9 months, and stuff.
Where it went from 2 scripts being ripped up before the show, and then people have to remember promos or verbiage they have to use. And then on that Raw, it was like everything was back to normal the way it was 6 months prior.
Right. So.
And you could see visibly on the wrestlers' faces, like, fuck.
Right. And I think that.
And the video of the producers going up to set did not help anybody's cases at all that, Vince is in charge. Or Vince was running something.
That
didn't help.
He like I said, he was back in his toy room and thought that he can show off. And I think someone started wrangling him in and like, listen, this is not going to work. We're going to have to do something. Now, do I believe that he still has his hand in the cookie jar with creative? Yeah, I do. Mm-hmm. But it's about the flow of it. And I think right now with Triple H, it's more of the, can I suggest something? Sure, Vince. What is it?
Omos versus Brock.
Okay, that can work.
I'll talk to Brock.
Yeah, I can make it work. Now the Cody Brock thing, everybody was
why
they were in an uproar over it, and I'm like, why? First of all, people were pissed off about the Cody loss at WrestleMania. I was fine with it. Mm-hmm. I was okay, although I predicted that he would win. I was fine with it. Why? Because once again, watching the Dusty documentary. That's how Dusty booked. Dusty was the fighting from underneath guy. Mm-hmm. And that's what made the story. Him fighting from underneath.
That's where the Dusty finish came from.
Well, Dusty finishes is always just a silly finish to a match. That's what it's called.
I know, but like when moments where you think this guy finally gets his moment, then nope.
Right. And you get
taken away from him. That was what Dusty always did.
And he, when it's the build up to get to that place.
As long as it's now, if we're going to SummerSlam in Detroit, that's where it needs to happen.
I still say that make him chase, but don't make him chase for too long.
Yeah. Because
the fans they'll tire from it. It's not like years ago where, we don't get to see wrestling often. We see it often. Mm-hmm. So we can't have that, long lasting chase because it's like sex. You're going to end up wanting to orgasm sometime soon. doesn't help to do it for 3 hours long. Like it just becomes just exercise after a while.
And as long as Cody doesn't get hurt like the last time, it should be full steam towards SummerSlam.
I found
because I think like sorry to interrupt you, but like from last year going on, where he after Raw he got the promo saying my goal is to be the WWE champion.
Right.
Then a few months in, he's doing the feud with Seth. He gets hurt at Hell in a Cell. And then he's gone for all this months. And then when he comes back, the first thing he does is win the Rumble. And then his story stopped and then kind of was like...
Well, it's stop and go. It was very much stop and go.
But now it's like if he's staying around and healthy, then there's more time for him to build his character up and maybe prove more to the people why I'm going to beat Roman Reigns.
Well, you look at his father.
With the win, hopefully, over Brock.
Well, you look at his father. He had he had to go through the Four Horsemen. It was like months. He had to go through Tully and Arn with his tag partner. Right. Then, he had, the incident with, with Oli and all that stuff during those times.
Mm-hmm.
Until you finally got to Rick. It's video game-ish. You got to beat the bosses to get to where you got to get to finish the game.
And with the Bloodline, we have 3 options. It's the Usos and Solo.
Right, but now they just threw in not even a mini boss because he's fucking Bowser with fucking Brock Lesnar.
Mm-hmm.
So, which is it's an interesting turn.
Let's talk about the Brock turn because I think with Cowboy Brock for the last couple of years since the pandemic, he's been the best thing on the show.
Right,
honestly, because he comes out with a cowboy hat, doesn't give a fuck. Actually been cutting good promos, better than he usually does.
Right.
He's entertaining, and I think a lot of his ring stuff, it's the same shit. 5 minutes, he comes in, smashes, and that's it. But I think the story that they're trying to tell, that they try to tell on SmackDown, that Wade said that he overheard Brock being pissed that he opened the show and Cody was closing the show.
Right.
It's like, us people are not stupid. That is not why Brock is doing any of this. He probably look at Cody like, you're going to be the one to beat Roman. I should be the one to do it.
Right. Well, then the other thing is,
or whatever reason.
The other thing is, I took to consideration where, and it was
like going into that show. Did you think he was going to wrestle in the main event?
No.
When he came out as the tag partner, you're thinking, oh, really? We're going to do this on Raw?
No. But I did want to see a Brock turn, but I didn't think it was going to be on Cody. That I didn't see it happening. Mm-hmm. I thought it would have been a double turn or something of that magnitude. Maybe like Bobby or some shit like that. Maybe, I don't know. It just I didn't.
Yeah, that issue's still not settled.
That's exactly. That's still out there. And then,
which hopefully with the brand split,
the other
stop it.
The other thing that came up in conversations was the fact that maybe that Paul is involved in this. That Paul is still...
He influenced Brock?
That he's still dealing with Brock behind the scenes and not doing it in front of Roman. That he still has,
he's still a snake.
Yeah, he's still handling it. And he's not, even because Roman even asked, did you know Brock was going to do that? And he goes, no, my tribal chief, I didn't know.
Of course.
It's like,
play dumb.
Right. So I wouldn't be... That would actually be intriguing as well. But
yeah, maybe that would be the end of the Bloodline.
The one thing that I wouldn't have done was bring Cody back to
a week
TV
later.
A week later. Yeah.
But they can't help it.
Although he was selling the injuries, you saw that he was holding his ribs and he was selling it.
But you have to respect him, Cody. He's the only one really willing to do that.
Right.
What a tongue twister that was.
But I think that with him, he's with Brock. I think heel Brock is the best Brock to me.
I think heel Brock is also where we are going to be like, okay, what the fuck's he going to say now? Because a face Brock, he can say anything and we enjoy it. I think heel Brock is going to be like,
yeah,
he's advertised on Raw tomorrow, and he's obviously going to say something. He has to. There has to be some explanation.
Somebody's gonna be ready to hit the fucking bleep button for him because we know that he could just heel Brock.
He'll say something he's not supposed to say.
Right.
But the planned match is supposedly Cody and Brock at Backlash.
Yeah,
the stip is the winner faces Roman, but that doesn't go with the Brock thing.
No,
because Brock is banned from facing him again until Roman drops the titles.
Right.
So that'd be storytelling going backwards.
Snafu. It would be
why is that in the thing?
I'm thinking that
Is this a one-off, you think?
Yeah, it has to be. And if Cody doesn't win,
it's over.
Yeah, it's
going to be a while until we believe Cody can do it.
Now, the other thing that people keep throwing in the air is like, you know that, you know, it shows that Triple H doesn't let things go. It's like, no, that's not. People, you got to understand, storylines like this bring you back to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Like I mentioned earlier, just don't have us hanging on for too long. So it's not a thing to where it's like, well, you know that he did break the chair. And it's, guys, stop, cut the shit. It's not about that. Although it would be interesting to see if that comes out, though, that like as a storyline that it's Triple H throwing obstacles at him in that kind of sense. But no, that's not what it would.
If he came out and confronted Cody and said, like, don't think I see all. I see and hear all.
Right. I don't think I might forgive, but I don't forget.
Correct.
Like that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So I'm okay with that. But other than that, those two bookends going on there, the Kevin Owens and the Bloodline thing still with the Usos and such.
Yeah, this was one of two nights where Solo Sikoa was in the main event and he dominated.
The one thing that annoyed me is like, why Riddle?
What do you mean?
Why involve him in all this?
Well, if we go back to what they did in December, Solo is the guy that took him out before he got suspended.
Right. Okay. Granted, you are correct. I forgot about that. He did the chair shot and all that.
Yeah, he did the hip thing into the corner where the chair went his throat.
You're right. That's it. Yeah, I was trying to.
You were thinking, like, why is Riddle?
Why is he involved
joining
in
this?
Right. That's it. Yeah, good. So now it makes sense.
There's your answer. So obviously, I think a Backlash for dealing with a 6-man. Riddle, Owens, and Zayn against Solo and the Usos.
Right, but then I heard, and
then they announced we'll get into later on. They announced a bunch of stuff for the next coming weeks.
Yeah, but which I'll just bring it up now that there's a confliction now because it's supposedly a Night of Champions at Saudi
instead of King and Queen of the Ring.
Right, it's Night of Champions and.
If they do the gimmick of all,
can't go
if they do the gimmick of all titles are on the line,
right?
The tag champions have publicly stated they never want to go to Saudi Arabia.
Well,
Sammy can't go.
Sammy can't go,
and Kevin has flat out said, "I will not go."
Right, exactly. So, are they dropping the belts?
Or dropping one set?
Right, or are they splitting the belts? And the draft is when?
In 2 weeks.
So
the week after the tag title match, I believe. May 6th.
The SmackDown draft, the SmackDown tag team titles.
That'd be interesting.
And Raw drafts the Raw tag team titles.
Yeah, the tag title match is on the 28th of this month, and then the draft is reportedly starts May 5th and then ends on May 8th.
Night of Champions is when?
The 27th, the day before Double or Nothing.
Right. Which, by the way, I didn't mention.
Not a shocker.
I didn't mention it at. I believe that NXT is running head to head against Double or Nothing.
Same time.
Right.
Nobody's watching that show.
Wow.
No one's tuning in live.
Why would they do that?
They know what they're doing. It's not going to work though.
That's so counterproductive. That I'm not a fan.
If they did the same day, but like at 1 in the afternoon, then it'd be fine.
Yeah.
But on the road. That's the part that is also tricky.
Yeah, that I'm not a fan of. I think that's so.
I see they're trying to get their new guys on in public, but it's also like it's counterproductive against AEW because the people will choose one over the other.
It's counterproductive against wrestling fans for wrestling fans. Period. Like why are you making us have?
I mean, your current setup, you have 2 TVs. You could put NXT on one and Double or Nothing on the other.
Right, but not many people have that.
Correct. And people don't have that technology.
Exactly. Yes, people. I live like a fucking king. I have 2 TVs in my living room, like an ass. But
yeah,
it's I think it really.
What do you think? What do you think about this Office Solo? Because now he's getting the monster push again. Well, continuing. Because we're on Raw now. He defeated Kevin Owens in the main event.
Listen. This is
now him rebounding from his Cody loss. The Raw go home for Mania.
This makes a lot of sense. I'm you got to give the what you call them the the Hitman his time.
He is Umaga now.
Yeah, you got to give him his point in time, and keeping him with not many words, saying
the silent killer.
Saying as minimal as possible makes it even better for him.
And I noticed it on SmackDown too. He was speaking in Samoan.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Like he wasn't speaking English. He was speaking Samoan.
Right. So
which was what Umaga used to do. And this guy is basically a modern Umaga. He does the thumb. He does the hip thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he's the Samoan savage.
I'm eager to see where they go with him, and how it occurs. And I can see that it's going to be Jay and Roman pulling at him to figure out who you lining with,
whose side are you on.
Right. And hey, I said I like.
It'd be interesting to see where they go.
I like what Roman said. Roman said, this is like a baseball game, and right now we're in the third inning. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
It's we got a lot of storytelling here. WWE is not really well known to keep their stories, but it was a long time that we've seen stuff like this happen.
Yeah.
So I mean, stay the fuck away from this shit. Just stay away.
Just to finish up on Raw, we continue the Judgment Day LWO story, where Ray basically confronted Damian Priest about attacking Bad Bunny, etc., etc.
I love that
Finn got a win over Ray.
I love that it's all Spanish and people just like
go along with it.
Throw every Spanish person together, Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, it don't matter. It's all fine.
And Finn Balor's just standing there like, "Hi, I'm here."
Yeah, I'm married to a Spanish woman though.
Cool. Good for Finn Balor though. He worked that Mania match with a torn ankle or ACL,
and
he did that dive off the top.
Then came out 2 weeks later with still stitches in his head. Like, shit, Finn, what the fuck is going on?
Good shit on him.
But this is once again the morale of the company. If it was Vince, I'd be like, nah, fuck that, I'm staying home.
Mm-hmm.
These guys are like, nah, I want to go out.
I'm good to go.
Yeah,
shit.
Fuck it.
I mentioned a 6-man earlier, but definitely getting a 6-man at Backlash. Santos, Rey Mysterio, and Bad Bunny against Dominic, Finn, and Damian.
I'm okay with.
And I think we're obviously gonna see Rhea. First program's gonna be against fucking Zelina Vega.
Really?
Yeah, they're teasing that already.
Oh,
it's gonna be a whole LWO versus Judgment Day thing.
What they got to put all the Latinos out there in Puerto Rico, man. It got to be front and center. It's just like fucking. Sure. If they go to fucking India, you got to bring Jinder Mahal out and Veer
in the sheer.
You got to bring them out.
Yeah. Also on the show, we had the turn. Trish turned on Becky after they lost the women's tag titles to Raquel and Liv.
Did this make any sense to anyone?
Well, first they did the thing where Lita got attacked backstage, and nobody knows how or why. But then Trish stepped in, took her spot. They lost the match, and then Trish attacked Becky before she left.
I didn't know it was they had the fucking New Day stipulation going on that anybody could.
Yeah, sure. that works.
I didn't know it was the Freebird rule they had there. Shit.
And now tomorrow on Raw, we're gonna get the explanation from Trish on why she did what she did.
We get an explanation from Trish
and a match in August.
Oh, yeah, right. We get the explanation from Trish, and we get the Brock Lesnar answer to the challenge. Yeah,
Trish and her new boobs are gonna be prominent on Raw.
Anything else that Raw had?
We had the teaser of the Damage Control split.
Okay,
where Bayley talked to Pierce, got herself a triple threat number one contenders match, and then Dakota and Io like, what the fuck? What are you doing? What about us?
But she
goes, I'll go and talk in for you. And then we had Io Sky defeat Mia Yim and Piper Niven, and she is now the number one contender for Bianca Belair. Which is gonna be a good match.
Yeah, kudos to WWE and Creative because they had half a roster there.
That's right. There was travel issues, and they're in Seattle.
Right. So that was telling for them to put that together, and they actually
on short notice.
Yeah,
not a bad show from the week prior.
Yeah, if Vince was there, well, we would have had like fucking 30-minute promos. 30-minute
hour promos.
Yeah, and somebody did a contrast and compare of the two Raws where There was like 20 minutes of wrestling on the Raw after. It was like 25 minutes of wrestling on the Raw after Mania.
In the first hour, Raw was like commercial free.
Right. And then the following one
was like 20 minutes of actual 30 more wrestling than talking.
Yeah, exactly. So
that's how people used to always look at Impact, like total nonstop action. We talk for an hour and then we wrestle.
Yeah. TNA.
No action here. So that was pretty much Raw. And then the only other thing on Raw is that they advertised Lashley versus Austin Theory for this week.
Oh,
non-title.
Oh, okay.
But Lashley had a match with Bronson Reed, and Bronson Reed wrestled that match with the flu.
Right, and it was not a bad match though.
But he looked winded, but now that we know that he had the flu. It's now it's obvious that fucker was on fucking like on a clock.
Hey, listen, once again,
and that guy doesn't get winded.
Guys is out there. The morale was up. They were ready to go to work.
The old man is gone.
Yeah, it's like, whew. Might as well go into SmackDown since it's already.
Yeah, I've spent that pulled up. Anything you took note of on SmackDown from your point of view?
I'm noticing more how Paul Heyman is playing the bigger part here with the Bloodline thing. We see
the way he's looking at people,
right,
in the main event,
right,
when we get to it,
and he's very much pulling the strings on every one of these characters. This is why I said the whole Brock possibility being in Heyman's pocket might be something, because you could say that, he could tell Roman later on, if it is that's what it is, that I did it for you, Tribal Chief, so I could get Cody out of your hair. I sent Brock out to destroy
I made a
him.
deal with my old client,
right? So interesting. We'll find out. We'll find. You can see that Brock, that Paul is playing a little more mind games than he's leading us on to,
which is good. Which is smart.
I think SmackDown right now is doing a hard restart. They really need to figure out what is going to be their next subline underneath the Bloodline one. What's going to be the next sub story that needs to be progressed? We saw the return of Nakamura.
Yeah, against Madcap Moss.
Who's now a heel.
It started and then it was over.
Yeah, it was now.
But then on Twitter, Karrion Kross put out a Twitter photo of him and Nakamura from when they were training in the dojo, whatever the fuck they were doing, and he put the hourglass over his face. So that's a potential program going forward.
Right. Which somebody already said. Yeah.
People are already like, remember when Kross told Roman he's coming for him?
And what was
he haven't gone for him yet.
Karrion Kross, Karrion Kross loses to Nakamura. Yeah. Somebody called him and Scarlett Team Rocket.
Oh, that's disrespectful. We had Xavier Woods beat LA Knight, and then Xavier challenging Gunther for the Intercontinental title.
There's discussions that LA Knight might be the front runner to win Money in the Bank.
I told you I have him winning that.
Yeah, he's so over, man. It's
not even funny
for a guy who people were worried about that was gonna get the shovel from Bray Wyatt. He was able to kick out of that shit, man.
Yeah,
he's and him losing
didn't hurt.
It didn't hurt.
People forgot about it already.
And also remember, this is the same thing that occurred with Austin Theory last year. Austin wasn't winning all his matches until Money in the Bank. That's when he was able to get that. So
yeah. Well, even he bounced back from his failed cash in.
Right. So
I mean, not for nothing. That was a guy I was thinking, this guy is definitely on somebody's shit list. He's gonna get fired. So,
right.
But he bounced back.
So
and he's building on momentum now too. But I want to talk about Xavier Woods now, because he's in an interesting spot where Kofi's out and Big E's out. So this is definitely, if they're going to do anything with Xavier, now's the time.
Yeah.
They gave him King of the Ring. He really didn't do anything with that. And then now he has this. Him going for the IC title is a good look, but there's no way he's going to beat Gunther.
No, but it's also, once again, we're just lining up
more challenges for Gunther.
Yeah, we're just getting him some notches on his belt. So it's Woods' time for it. It's fine.
Now, if he were to go to like the other show and challenge Austin Theory, I would think he would beat that.
Austin Theory versus Austin Woods?
Creed. Austin Creed.
Austin Creed, yeah.
The Battle of the Austins.
But the Gunther thing, do we see him breaking Honky Tonk's record?
I mean, I guess so. If they,
it's up to SummerSlam.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I don't give a shit about the record. I think he's proven he's better than the IC belt, where he could move up in a world title spot.
He doesn't fit in that storyline against Roman. They're good.
Well, I'm not saying he has to go face Roman. I'm just saying if once the brand split, if they do anything, if they make another world title, which is the rumor thing,
right,
which I'll get into afterwards, but Gunther is pick number one. Like in the echelon of SmackDown, Roman is the top heel, and then Gunther is number two.
I think
if they move Roman over to Raw, Gunther stays on SmackDown, or the other way around. Gunther is the front runner for that new world title.
Do you draft everyone together?
Him and Imperium?
Yeah,
of course.
Are they all one? Bloodline is all one.
Correct.
So we're not.
Well, no. Roman will be one, and then Solo, and then the Usos.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. Like
with Imperium, they need to be drafted together because those two are dead without Gunther, and on their own, they're not.
This is what I'm saying.
Not more established enough.
Do you draft singles, or you draft full tag teams or factions? Like,
it depends.
The LWO, are they all going? Like,
no, they'll probably draft Ray first, and then the LWO second.
I need to see the parameters of this draft or how it goes. With
LWO, it's what, 5 people?
I mean, yeah, but at this point now, yeah. So, I'm also looking at the.
Also, on this SmackDown, I just want to say, Solo got his second win. He got a win over Matt Riddle.
Right. Yeah. Right. And I'm also looking at the women's division. And
this has been Triple H's weak spot for a couple months now.
Yeah, it's you gotta find something.
The talent is there.
Yeah, you just gotta find something for them to do. And
like Rhea and Zelina does not sound fucking appealing at all.
Well, you gotta give.
It's one-sided.
Yeah, but you gotta give her. You could put her in a squash match. She could squash.
But Zelina has to prove herself to even get this stupid title shot. It can't just be, because the LWO and Judgment Day are feuding.
And then when you look at them side by side, it's like...
I mean, they tease something with Raquel and Rhea, but they're doing a different thing with Raquel now.
But that's longer. That's something that you want to put on a bigger platform. But with the Zelina thing, you gotta fucking squash her.
She's 5 feet. Rhea's 6'2".
Yeah, you gotta squash her.
She'll eat her.
Yeah, exactly.
She'll do the famous pin that everybody gets fucking horny about, and then that's everybody's highlight of the night.
Yeah, that'll be our wallpaper on Turnbuckle Tabloid. Hey,
no, it won't.
But other than that, I'm hoping that SmackDown becomes the destination for tag team wrestling. More tag team wrestling there. I think it's needed. SmackDown needs something.
Well, let me ask you with the upcoming draft. Because the current main storyline on SmackDown is the Bloodline.
Right.
If you take that away and move it to Raw, SmackDown, the only thing they'll have is like the LWO and Judgment Day. Because Rhea's the SmackDown champion, and in theory, the whole Judgment Day goes over there with her.
Yeah, but they're still doing the cross shows, so it doesn't even matter.
No. After the brand split, no. But once you're on the show, you're on the show. Is the Fox network going to be happy with the Bloodline off the show? That's what I'm trying to say.
No.
If Roman goes to Raw, they're going to be like, really? The main guy with the big ratings is gone from the show now?
I'm thinking more along the lines to where the champion has to do both shows. That's my thing. And then whoever you lose your belt to, you stay on that show. I guess. I don't know.
Well, I found this on Instagram scrolling through, and this is from Notorious Wrestling. So here's what they have. This is what they said. The rumored plans for the 2023 WWE draft. Apparently, Damage Control will move to different brands, Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. Mm-hmm. One person each going to one show. Mm-hmm. Mid-card titles are expected to switch brands.
Yeah,
so that means Gunther and Austin Theory switch shows.
Right.
Commentators are also a part of the draft and expected to be shuffled.
Okay.
And then regarding Roman Reigns will reportedly be drafted to Raw and get a new undisputed world title.
Can we pick up a free agent? Can we get Mauro Ronaldo?
where SmackDown will get a new sole WWE title like they did in 2016, where they introduced Universal title to Raw.
Right.
And then also there's another piece that said the Street Profits will be split up in the draft.
And if it does happen, I'm okay with it. But
as long as they're not breaking up, they're just being split by the draft.
Right. That's going to bring a lot of fucking people some remembrance of when they did it to Team 3D. People are not going to be happy with that shit.
But I think the Dudleys and Street Profits are completely different things.
Yeah.
In that day, the Dudleys had nothing as a singles, but Montez Ford and now Angelo Dawkins have something.
Yeah.
They have the skill set to be singles guys.
Yeah. Can we get the Hurt Business back? Oh God, can we get some?
That's been apparently scrapped.
It has, right? Oh, Jesus. So, other than that, SmackDown is just SmackDown.
It'd be interesting to see who they put. Like I think like guys like Nakamura and Cross, and Gunther will go over to Raw.
Right.
Where I think like Lashley, I'm trying to think like main guys on SmackDown, the big guys. I think Lashley would probably be their only big new guy on that show.
Yeah, well, like I said, we'll see.
We'll see how it goes.
I want to see formulations of factions. I'm okay with factions, but not that it's overwhelming. I'm okay with tag teams and factions forming, but it just can't be as fucking engulfed as it is in AEW, which we're going into now. AEW has just been it's been hit or miss.
I want to get Rampage out the way first because that was really a nothing show.
But it's been hit. But I'll just say this: it's been hit or miss because they've had
good matches.
But
like this week's main event was Sean Spears and Jungle Boy.
Right.
Like when was the last time we saw fucking Sean Spears?
Shit, man.
And he's not under a deal anymore, I believe. He's working not under a contract.
Right. It's like I said, they've had matches.
They had an IWGP Tag Team title match with Aussie Open, the Best Friends. This is random. Like, how many more title matches do you need? Remember when they did that AAA like Reina de whatever the fuck women's title match?
Yeah,
everybody's like laughed their ass off. Like really more?
No. Then the other one was like now they're defending the mega title with Vikingo versus Commander and all that. I'm like, where does all this come from?
Jalistico.
Yeah. Like,
well, no, is it Commander? I think you're right.
Yeah. I'm like, where does all this come?
Where are you people coming from?
It just, I'm telling you, somebody hits random generate match on fucking 2K23 and this is what you're getting.
And there's going to be a third show on Saturday coming soon.
Collision. AEW Collision.
Is that what it's called?
I believe so, yeah. Fuck. And this is going to be the flagship show.
Meanwhile, and then the wording they use, they're going to split the roster. And it's like this 1,000 people roster, you got to split it into 3 shows.
Well, at least the Saturday show's a 2-hour show.
With CM Punk being the main.
I thought they were going to do the 6:05 hour. I thought they were going to do that. They did it years ago.
Apparently they're doing the 8 to 10.
It's going to be 8 to 10, which I'm still confused because
that's going to be in June.
Don't they? I thought they run. What is that going to be on TNT?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Dynamite's going to be the only TBS show.
Oh, so they're going to finally put the TBS title on TBS? Are they going to do that?
Oh. Speaking of the TBS title, fucking Taya Valkyrie, who debuted on Dynamite, has been relegated to Rampage ever fucking since.
Jesus.
And this week they had the worst brawl I've ever seen in my goddamn life. Forearm after forearm, miss after miss. Poor Taya.
She doesn't get it.
That's why I don't want to even mention Rampage because that's all that happened. But Dynamite had more newsworthy stuff where we opened the show with Darby and Swerve Strickland. Great match as always. But then we had it with a 30-minute promo with back and forth between Darby and MJF. And then we had a Sting promo.
I thought that promo was more about getting Sting in the match than Darby.
I love the Sting promo where he came out with pom-poms in his jacket. I love what somebody said. He came out like a fucking truck driver. The way he looked, like the jeans and the jacket.
He sounded like
and then he said, "This ain't the Cody daycare anymore." And then did the shocked face. He goes, "Oh, I said Cody. I wasn't supposed to say that."
I thought he sounded like a doting dad. Like he was just like bigging up his son. Like,
and you can tell the difference between a Sting promo and other Legends promo, where other people say, "This man put me over," where Sting goes, Flair put me on the map.
Right.
Where he said he didn't put me over, he put me on the map.
Right.
He gave a shout out to Kevin Nash and Scott Hall. And then verbatim, he said, I don't care about this world title.
This is what I'm saying. It seemed like it was more about
Meanwhile, there's an angle there where somebody said if Darby was to later on go against MJF and MJF puts these trials in front of him, he said, okay, if you want a shot at my title, you're going to face a person I pick, and that's Sting.
Right?
And if you beat him, his career is over.
Right.
Yeah. But if Sting beats you, then he faces me.
Once again, a lot of this stuff that they do on the show, it just is nonsensical to me. I don't know. And then
meanwhile, we're leading to a fatal 4-way at the pay-per-view.
Well, yeah. We got to get the Pillars match. That has to happen.
Yeah. But overall, what'd you think of this?
Too long. Not really necessary.
I think it's the same verbiage too every time.
And
where like
we're just trying to fill time with MJF because that's where
we have a month.
They got to hit their quarter hours with because they got to make sure they get the.
Because I'm waiting for the whole fucking trials thing because that's what happens every time with MJF.
Mm-hmm.
You have to face me. You have to do blah 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 blah.
Well, it's funny because now, speaking of that, in Cornette. Instead of it being the bloodline, it's called the mud line with the Blackpool Combat Club and what they're doing. The mud line.
Speaking of them, they had a tag match and the match went longer than I fucking wanted it to go.
I'm still not buying
them against Brandon Cutler and Michael Nakazawa.
Why? Why would he even go this long?
You should have stopped when they started bleeding.
It should have been an automatic squash match once again. But
why does Cutler and Nakazawa have to fight back? They're jobbers.
Because they're the VP's boys. They got to look good somehow.
Speaking of the VPs, you had Kenny and the Bucks make their returns, and then Kenny was about to kill him with a screwdriver, Moxie specifically.
Oh yeah, well
and then. Before they went to commercial, they're throwing the barricade pieces at each other, throwing beers at the Bucks. And I said this on Facebook. I think you could agree. Anarchy in the arena too.
Oh yeah, that's coming. Yeah,
the Elite versus the Blackpool Combat Club 4-on-4.
Coming. Yeah, that's
and
coming.
Then Blood and Guts on TV.
Yeah, that's definitely coming.
Yeah. Also, Matt Jackson was reportedly hurt, and he's back already. This man takes no time off.
Yeah, he had a hangnail. He's all right. Yeah, he just had a hang.
We had Orange Cassidy do his open challenge again against Buddy Matthews. Good match.
I'm surprised that he still has the belt though.
I'm surprised the international title is being booked better than the TNT title. I mean, not for nothing. The TNT title is now relegated to the TV title, but it's not even a TV title anymore.
No. And that belt has been hot potato for so many fucking ways, bro. Like, there's no.
I mentioned this for Orange Cassidy on Twitter that they're doing the thing where he's driving himself like every week. He's defending the belt.
Right.
Let Jay White be the one to take the belt from him. Let Jay White be the guy that comes into AEW the fastest and getting a title.
Which is,
by the way, he was relegated to a fucking 30-second promo on the show where he basically called him and Juice the Bullet Club Gold.
Yeah, there's no more two sweeting. Now it's two guns up.
Listen, I would buy Bullet Club Gold over Jeff Jarrett Gold. Shit.
Like I said, I don't know what they're going to be doing with that belt. Hopefully, once Collision happens,
I'm happy that it's being used.
Yeah, but I'm hoping that it's going to be used on Collision. Since it's on TNT, that'll be their main title.
I guess so. And then we did have the TNT thing. We had Powerhouse Hobbs killing Silas Young in his hometown. A waste of Silas Young. Then they do the whole thing of, oh, here's a custom car for you, and now the custom car is destroyed.
That and who knew who Silas Young was? I mean, we know
he's been on TV before, but not in like a year,
right? So it's like,
he was only on the TV because they were in his hometown.
And that's the other thing that bothers me is that they don't ever do like packages and if they do a package, it's like fucking 30 seconds of people that people may or may not know.
Right.
They like to stick to their own people. They don't like to open up to a new audience. They're happy with keeping that core audience.
I was about to say like that's obviously when it comes to the roster, they don't stick to their own people. They always bring in outside people.
Listen, they have a
meanwhile they sign like 1,000 people and they still bring in people from the outside for TV.
Yeah, we're still wondering.
Next week on the show, Jay White is making his AEW in-ring debut. His first match under AEW contract, fucking against Commander.
It's not against anybody.
He's not an AEW dude. He's a AAA dude.
It's not what you call it. It's not Matt Hardy. It's not an Isaiah Cassidy or something like that. No.
Next to bring that next topic.
Oh, great.
We had the return of Jeff Hardy.
At least he didn't dance coming to the ring.
That was a funny thing too. Somebody said he knew better this time. And for the first time in his fucking career, he has a weapon with his own face on it.
Right.
Took him this damn long.
Yeah.
But what do you think about him coming back after the whole DUI thing?
I mean,
is it good for him to be back?
It was inevitable.
In wrestling.
It's inevitable. It was going to happen.
No, I'm asking you personally. You think it's better for him to be back in wrestling?
To be honest with you, I don't care. I really don't give a shit.
Because I mean, Bully Ray said best. Like, this is his last fucking chance. Out of all the chances this dude has got, this is his final one.
Maybe not, because
WWE's not bringing him back.
Somebody wants to see him swanton dive off a balcony or some shit. Who the fuck knows? I don't know.
So yeah, and then on Rampage they announced an 8-man deletion match on their Hardy compound. The Hardys, Hook, and Isaiah Cassidy against Stokely Hathaway, Ethan Page, Lee Moriarty, and Big Bill. And if the Hardys win, Matt and Isaiah are free from their contracts from the firm.
Okay. Once again, who cares? Like this. And like I said, they're bringing back the deletion match. Oh God, who cares?
Me and my friends care because it's the bullshit we laugh about.
Oh God,
like the lake of reincarnation, all the bullshit.
Do you really think they're gonna do that though?
Yeah.
Oh God,
made a joke about when they throw Hook in the river, he comes out as the Tasmaniac.
Oh God, you know what? You might be right when it comes to that shit.
We had bullshit with the Outcast. Nobody cares. And then in the main event, a rare main event appearance by Keith Lee against Chris Jericho. Jericho wins.
Yeah, exactly.
And then we had a thing where Adam Cole came out, helped Keith Lee to the back, and then him and Jericho, he kept looking back at him. So,
well, you know,
it's a dream match. Let's be real. Adam Cole versus Chris Jericho.
Yeah, but it's also a reminder of how small Adam Cole is when he's up against, when you put him next to somebody.
Well, compared to Keith Lee,
you're like, God damn. But even Jericho, he's like, shit. He's shit smaller than him as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like shit.
Yeah, and that was pretty much for Dynamite. And then I put it on Facebook, and you saw it. But we're a month away from Double or Nothing, and the card looks pretty much intact. It's shaping up to be what it's going to be.
Yeah, it's
Anarchy in the Arena 2.
Yeah.
We have the Fatal 4-Way for the world title.
Mm-hmm.
Cole and Jericho, which I wouldn't be surprised if that's like an Owen Hart thing, because that's supposed to be coming up soon.
Right.
Ricky Starks and Jay White.
Right.
We have probably six woman tag, the Outcasts against Britt, Jamie Hayter, and a third person, which could be either Riho, Chris Statlander, or Thunder Rosa. And Hikaru Shida.
Right.
But it'd be interesting if it was Thunder Rosa.
Right.
That also the trios belts, the tag title belts, your national belt.
Yeah.
The TBS and TNT titles, and then that's pretty much your Double or Nothing show.
Jade Cargill versus
Taya.
Yeah.
Powerhouse Hobbs and Wardlow, probably. Because they're doing that on TV this week, but I don't think that's probably going to be prolonged to the pay-per-view.
Like I said, House
of Black, whatever they're going to do, FTR and the Guns, I don't know.
House of Black versus Death Triangle or some shit. Like,
well, we've seen that.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Random trio.
We
might get FTR and Aussie Open.
Maybe.
That match has been teased a lot recently.
So we definitely know that night is going to be up to fucking 12 o'clock. It's going to be a jam-packed night of fucking AEW wrestling. But still in all, like I said, solid matches.
I was thinking for the world title, if they're going to do a 4-way, put also a gimmick too. Like if MJF's like, why the fuck is it a 4-way? Then put the gimmick in. Whoever you pin, doesn't get a world title match for the rest of the time you're the champion.
Do we get a return of CM Punk?
So let him pin Jungle Boy, and then Jungle Boy goes off for the TNT title.
Do we get a return of CM Punk the night of Double or Nothing?
No, I think wait until Wembley.
We'll shall see. But
Speaking of, he's supposedly meeting with the whole roster at this point, asking for forgiveness.
Why? Why would he have to do that? I'll save that for another episode. We're already 220 in. All right, guys, that's going to wrap up on the Square Circle as well as Turnbuckle Tabloid. Make sure you check us out on all social media outlets. Check us out on the like and group page on Facebook. Check us out on Instagram at Turnbuckle Tab, and check us out on Twitter at
Turnbuckle Tab.
And also, you always check us out on YouTube, TikTok, and as well as on Twitch at Turnbuckle Tabloid. Download, subscribe, be a part of the vibe of Turnbuckle Tabloid on all the podcasting outlets. Check us out at RageWorksNetwork.com and as well as on RageWorks.net. I'm out of here. Guys, stay well, stay fit. I've been trying to do my gym
Get some
thing.
sleep, sir.
Get some, I'm going to get some sleep. So I'm over here yawning as well, but I can't because I got a possible interview coming up soon. Oh, but guys, as always, thanks again, sir, for stepping in. Yeah.
No problem.
Contributions for the social medias. Thank you once again for
anytime.
And guys, we out of here. Check you guys later.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff.
Turnbuckle Tabloid.